thank you for everybody joining us today. We appreciate it. We have Sam Boore and Linda Hostetter. They are with Focus HRO, and they are going to be talking to us about engaging with your employees during this COVID crisis and things, some techniques and best practices that you can be doing to keep your employees connected with your business, and so that when we get ready to relaunch, you have that connectedness with them. With that being said, I am going to turn this over to Sam and Linda. As I said, I'd like you to keep, if we can keep our lines muted during the presentation and use the chat feature at the end, that would be wonderful. Thanks again for joining us, and I'll turn this over to you, Sam.
Well, thanks, Hope. Focus HRO is a human resource outsourcing company located just across the river in Harrisburg, and we do work with several statewide associations. And I have to give hands-down credit to the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging for their COVID response. The resource page out there is just extremely detailed, way better than any I've ever seen. So a quick congrats to PRLA. Our focus is really helping small to mid-sized companies expand their resources by outsourcing a lot of the administrative burdens in the human resource field. And so since COVID struck, we've been doing a lot of webinars for HR consulting. But once we get back to normal, a normal day in our life is helping small to mid-sized companies with HR outsourcing, their insurances, both on the property casualty and health insurance and the ancillary side. We can help with your payroll, and we do some web design so you can help attract more clients. Today, it is our privilege to present to you some information to better stay connected to your employees. And to review this information, I'll be introducing Linda, but if I can first do a quick disclaimer. This webinar, as well as the information and opinions provided here, are not intended, obviously, to substitute for proper legal advice, and the host and panel members and their respective employers cannot be held responsible for any errors, omissions, or changes to the law. So please seek legal counsel for specific advice for your specific situation. So if we go to the next page, you'll see the title is How to Stay Connected with Employees During a Business Closure. We're going to pass it off to Linda. Linda has over 35 years of direct HR experience, and she helps our clients all over the state with just about any question they have. So without further ado, Linda, if you would share with the folks here today how to keep the morale going in their companies.
Okay, I certainly will try. Thank you, Sam. Good morning, everyone. I know this is a very difficult time for you as employers, and we had some requests for just some basic information on possibly how to stay connected with your employees during the business closure. I know your particular business has taken a very hard hit, and it is very difficult for you to feel comfortable and for your employees to feel comfortable about returning to their jobs and that they feel like they are still a part of your team. So as Sam said, our webinar is going to be on how to stay connected with your employees during a business closure. If we can move on to the next screen. The best thing that we can recommend for your employees is to be intentional about communications. Don't get sucked into the panic going around the world in the media. Try to manage your emotions when dealing with your employees. Engage your employees in discussions. Let them know what is going on. Try to reinforce that this is temporary, and that as soon as we get over this COVID, that they will be having their jobs back and they will be able to resume life somewhat at a normal pace. And also, when you're giving them information, make sure that you're using credible sources. Of course, we all know the media, so I would not use the media. I would use credible sources such as the CDC websites or anything that is provided by the government under their websites. The most important thing, again, is just to be intentional with your communications with your employees. We can move on to the next screen, which is being honest and transparent with your staff. we as employers, we need to provide the reassurance that their furlough or their reduction in hours is not caused by mismanagement or any underperformance of the employee. This is strictly due to the COVID-19 virus and all the requirements that the state and federal government has put on us. And that you have carefully explored all options, sometimes even to the point where you would share some sales numbers, you would share some profits or margins, things like that, to reassure your employee that this, again, is not something that they have done wrong or management has done wrong. Let them know that the decisions that need to be made are temporary and based on the current situations, and changes can be made as changes within our rules and regulations change. Provide information to them regarding prevention, managing risk, what your expectations are, what their expectations may be. Take care with them, checking on them with self-care, working from home policies, travel policies, and just overall staying safe. Also let them know what the status is of their health care coverage, that the employee assistance programs are also available, as well as just basic self-care, such as washing their hands, wearing their mask, doing things that will prevent and manage their risk at home or at the job site. We can go on to the next screen. Staff need to feel that they still matter to the company and they haven't just been abandoned or forgotten about. It is a very scary situation for employees sitting at home, of course, working to try to get unemployment compensations to go through, worrying about their family members, how they're going to feed their families. So with the company staying in contact with them, this alleviates a lot of the indecisions that they are feeling and definitely makes them feel as part of the team. When this all blows over, they will again be working and will be a very important employee. We can go to the next screen. Also, one of the most important things you can do is provide clarity about their benefits, how the furlough impacts their insurance benefits, what benefits remain in place. Provide information and guidance to them as soon as possible. I know one of the worst concerns for the employees, again, is their insurance benefits, especially those with families. How is that going to be carried over, especially in a time with the COVID-19? More importantly than ever, they need to know that they have insurance benefits. A lot of the carriers have extended dates for this, and that is something that you can work directly with your carrier to find out about, to see what exceptions they have made to assist you and the employee with continuing benefits as long as possible. The other thing is also have them be aware of any telemedicine options that may be part of the insurance plan. This is something that is being provided to a lot of the carriers, to their clients, due to the fact that they would rather have their employees doing telemedicine on the phone. They're not going into the office, and this is providing a very helpful service, sometimes at no cost, sometimes at low cost. It just depends on your carrier, and that information can be received from your carrier directly. On to the next screen. The next thing that I want to stress is to be empathetic, understanding, and flexible. Relax your policies, adjust your guidelines. I have done some research, and 1 of 3 employees have left a job because they didn't feel their employer cared about them as a person. So this is very important, especially in the times that we are in right now. Employees definitely need to know that you feel for them as a person and an employee as well. 25% left a job because they weren't treated with dignity by company leaders. Again, just treat them as a person. Think of it as you want to treat your employee as you would want to be treated. And also 1 in 5 left a job because their employers didn't support their well-being. And again, this comes right back to the situation that we are in. Take care of them, communicate with them, take care of their well-being, and just let them know that they are a person as well as an employee. You could also consider loosening some of your restrictions, such as sick day policies, allowing remote work, keeping communications open. If you do have employees working remotely, host face-to-face team meetings at least once a week, encourage brainstorming sessions. Again, just stay in communications with your employees as much as possible. As we move on to the next screen, we want to mitigate risk and also to help educate the employees. Refrain the employee travel to U.S. Department of State and CDC areas of concern. Don't request your employee to travel somewhere where, of course, there's a hot spot or the opportunity for them to get the COVID-19. Probably limit very, very little travel, if any. When they return back to work, make them feel, again, like you're taking care of self-care. Add more hand sanitizers, disinfectants, Clorox wipes, reduce any or eliminate any penalties against sick leaves or call-offs if an employee is not feeling well. Supply face masks and host awareness sessions to educate and reduce anxiety. One thing you can do, again, is just reassure that employee that this is temporary. This is something that we are all involved in together. Reduce their anxiety. Your employee will feel that they are important and they will want to return to work as soon as possible, knowing the employer does deeply care for them as a person and as an employee. Moving to the next screen, companies actually have a moral and legal obligation to look after their employees, whether it's mitigating travel risk or looking after their general health and well-being. Again, always keep their health and well-being in mind as well as their employment. On to the next screen. Stay in touch, again, and provide mental and emotional support. While you can't require an employee to work during a time where they are laid off, you still want to keep lines of communication open. Provide psychological support, show empathy, be responsive, and regularly check in with furloughed employees. Effective communication helps to motivate the furloughed employee and retain the good performers. Now on to the next screen. Make communication personal. Stay in touch with them. Far more valuable than generic messages are messages that are personalized for an employee. Establish trust with clear and continuous communication. Most importantly, listen to the employee. They may want to express their fears. They want to express things that are going on at home. Listen to them. Even though you may not have the answers, you can listen to them, and that makes a world of difference. Focus inward and maintain normalcy as much as possible. And that's pretty hard to do in today with the situations, but the more we can maintain normalcy with the employee, the sooner and the more responsible they feel as an employer, the sooner they're going to want to return to work. What is next? No one knows. We're guessing what will it look like when it's time to go back to work. We hope we have some type of normalcy. How will the changes you've made impact the future of your work, people, and culture? Again, kind of the unknown. We just try to put a plan together. We try to base things on experience and just take one day at a time moving forward. And what do you need to do to get ahead of all of this before the next wave of change hits? Again, that's kind of the unknown. We just take one day at a time and try to put some plans together with our companies and follow the rules and the regulations of the government and move on as we are allowed to move on. And on to the next screen. Pause and be intentional about your next move, even if you feel like you're being pressured to get things moving. Take time to think about it. Going through major change can be extremely rewarding for organizations. It can be very daunting for the employee. How you fight through, respond, and support your employees and recover is what ultimately leads to your future success. And that is pretty much covers what I wanted to say today. I think the most important thing, again, out of this is good communications with your employees. Do personal emails, do personal phone calls. Let them know they are still part of the company. And as soon as things get back to normal or somewhat normal, they will be back into their positions and we will be moving forward. Thank you for listening, and I hope this has been informative for you. And I will turn it back over to Hope or Eric.
Thank you, Linda. Does anyone have any questions? I believe there was another slide. Okay. Sam, I don't know if you were going to talk about this at all.
Yeah, I can touch on that real quick. We just want everyone to have, if there are questions later, or if they need information, or they're looking for specific forms, you know, the government has come out with forms that need to be posted now, along with your labor posters, and there's lots of other moving parts. So if anyone has any questions or requires more information, we created a landing page. It really just takes you to a CRM form that you just put your name and your email address and your phone number, and then you can type in the notes what you're looking for, and that comes directly to our team, and we can address any concerns or questions afterwards.
Sam, you said there are additional posters that are going to need to be posted, you were just talking about?
But there are. It was released a couple of weeks ago. So when the restaurants are opening back up, these forms need to be placed with the labor posters, and that I can actually send that out if you want to send that out as a takeaway.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. You know, anything that we can provide, you know, just to help everybody get started with, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Sue was just asking where they can find the posters. So is it something that they can just download and print out themselves, or is it something that needs?
You bet.
Okay.
No, it's nothing big and fancy and laminated. It's just a 8.5 by 11 PDF that needs to be printed out.
Oh yeah, if you could please share that with us, that'd be wonderful. I'd definitely share it with everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, you know, also there's a telemedicine and employee assistance program that we offer. Certainly not trying to sell anything, but during this time, a lot of folks don't want to go to the doctors for their routine sinus infection, ear infection, or whatever ails them. So we do have programs that allow almost like a Skype telemedicine where they can get help without having to leave home. And the employee assistance program, they're looking at national pricing there that we have with an organization out of Harrisburg. And they do, you know, virtual counseling. So this is a really difficult time for everybody. And if somebody just needs someone to talk to and they're looking for those counseling resources, that's a program that we can provide as well.
So with the telemedicine, it's not part of an insurance plan. It's something that would be separate of that?
Well, it's actually both, Hope. A lot of the insurance carriers have come out with a telemedicine piece so that these folks can reach their doctors without having to leave their home. And for groups that don't have a health insurance carrier that's looking for that type of resource, we have a standalone product. So what we would do is work with the company to see if they have a carrier and if that carrier provides them any type of this service. And if they don't, then we have some options alternatively.
Oh, great. And then, I mean, this is an offering that's there all the time, but it's just more than ever important now with where we're at, correct?
That's right. Absolutely. It's always there, but we're seeing more demand on the telemedicine today because people were just a little hesitant to venture out and sit in a doctor's office right now.
Sure. No, totally understand. Sue, thank you very much for putting that in the group chat. We appreciate everybody getting on the call. If you have specific questions for Sam or for Linda, we will be sending out this recording with their contact information, so you can reach out to them separately. Sometimes it's easier to ask the question one-on-one than in a group chat. But with that being said, again, Sam and Linda, thank you for taking the time to present this information. I think it was very helpful. And thank you to everybody that got on the call with us. As I said, we'll be posting this up on our website and sending it out with Sam and Linda's company information. And if no one has any other questions, we'll end this one a little early.
Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Linda. I really appreciate you taking some time today to put this together.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You too.
Have a nice
Thanks for
day.
having us.
Have a nice day. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.